Hey, what's good, my people? Welcome to the Monday edition of the Blitz Pickup. Listen, I already saw y'all in the chat early. Um, there will be no Marino slander today, allegedly. Maybe not on this channel. So if y'all came over here for the smoke, man, y'all chill. But we are talking about my boy Tua. He made number 91 on the countdown. Now, anyone come in this chat or anyone come over here and tell me that y'all thought that he was gonna make the top 100, y'all lying. I'm not gonna let y'all lie to me like that. Um, Also, Asante Samuel Sr. spoke out, so we might have to talk about. Well, we are gonna talk about that, and then we might, maybe, depend on how I feel, we might have to talk about Marino. We might have to talk about some numbers. We've been lied to this whole time, and yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But before, let me bring up my co-host before I do all this. Lou, what's good?
Tone, what's good, dog?
Lou, what's happening? You ready?
Ain't nothing, man.
You ready
Chilling,
to talk
man.
Marino?
What? Oh, no, no. I don't talk about Dan Marino. Nah. I ain't talking about him.
Are you sure?
Well, maybe in a later time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, Dravius said, slander that bum. Oh, listen. Shout out to the people. Y'all in here early today. I see Scott Jackson say facts. Level 2 noob. Shout out to level 2 noob. I ain't gonna lie. Those memes you had of me was crazy today. But he say, this is not the correct thumbnail for this video. That is a fact. My bad, noob. I didn't have to change to switch it up. But yeah, man, I see you in here. Michael K. Don't mind me, just here to read the misery in the chat. Fins up 74. Get rid of the number one problem of this team is elementary. Everything Asante Samuel Sr. said is 1000% correct. Wow. Delusional Patriot friends say Asante Samuel. Okay. Armando Swain tank wit to it. It's crazy. Scott Jackson again. Truth Finn says running in Cuban town. I like it. What's up, guys? All right, y'all here early, man. Vamos got those. Mike Best. Come on, I was looking for you earlier, Mike Best. I was defending Tua and you wasn't there for me. That's crazy. He said no defense, no running game, no O-line. It's almost like the quarterback can't do it on their own. I hope you're not talking about Dan Marino, because those are all three lies. He had a defense, he had an offensive line, maybe the running game, right? But he checked out a run plays anyway. So I hope that's not what you're talking about with Dan Marino. Grumpy in the building. All right, whatever. We see y'all. Yeah, y'all in the building early. Tell in the chat that they're here early when you're late is nasty work. Technically, I was here on time, man. We was here. My Mexican homie Tony Lucito, 100%. What's good, my boys? So Lou, man, listen. First of all, let's talk about Tua, bro. 91 in the top 100, right? I don't think you. I know I didn't. I didn't expect him to make the list. Nonetheless, he made it. And so what's your thoughts about that? Him making the list? Did I, big deal? What? No, not a big deal. What's going on?
Well. To be fair to myself, Tone, I don't like the way you pose the question to me, because every other time you talked about this, you asked a specific question, and I'm here to. I'm not answering no other question until you ask me the question you've been asking everybody else when it comes to that situation. We know
Okay,
Tua came in at 31, but ask me the question.
How many other quarterbacks you think gonna make the list?
I'm glad you brought this up. I don't know how many quarterbacks, Tone, will be making this list, but I can tell you the ones that are not going to make this list. Steve DeBerg, Dave Craig ain't making that top 100 list. Steve DeBerg ain't making that top
Mark
100
Malone?
list. Mark Malone ain't making that top 100 list, Tony. I know that for a fact.
Wow.
You like how I did that, Tone? Was that pretty good? Was that good?
What are those names you calling out? You can't elaborate on it.
Those are the great quarterbacks to Dan Marino defeated in the playoffs. But again, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
We might not talk about Dan Marino. Hey, oh my God! Don't do it, Lou. Don't do it, man.
No. To answer your question though, Tony. No, look, I think we were all shocked that Tua made the 100 list. So just to make it voted by his peers, I would say that is a credit to him, right? Obviously, the players across this league, because we always argue what Pro Bowl, if you get voted there, again, fans do a lot of that, and stuff. So to get voted as a top 100 player in the league you perform in or play in by your peers, that's a credit to him. But being the first quarterback on this list, the reason I asked you to ask me the same question you've been asking everybody else, and you've kind of been getting the same answers. 14, maybe 15, maybe 16 quarterbacks go on this list. Okay, so let's say there's 15 more that come on this list. Are we saying that Tua is the top 16 quarterback? Is that what we would be saying? Because there would be 15 guys better than him, right? At the end of the day, bro, listen, you can take it whichever one side of the fence you want to be on. If you want to be proud of Tua for making the list, you could be on that side. But for me, looking at how many other quarterbacks would go on this list, and let's say where they are. Like if we have 14, let's just say, Tone, that go on this list with Tua already being on it. Let's say 15 total. But out of those 15, let's say 5 of them make the top 10. Don't we have a problem? Right? Like if there's only 15 that make it, ours is at 91, and you have 5 others that make it in the top 10, I would say it goes from, Tua made the list to damn, Tua's that far away from these other top 5 guys. So I don't know, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I guess, again, credit to him for making the list. But if, in my opinion, and this is just going by last season, right? Going into this season, I don't think his performance, only playing in 11 games, being 6-5 in the 11 games that he played, I do not believe, in my opinion, Tone, that Tua Tagovailoa should be a top 100 player in the league going into this season. I don't agree with that, but that's just my opinion.
Based off last season, you don't think he should have made? So basically, you're saying you don't think he should have made the list?
No. Listen again, Tone. I was shocked that he made the list, and if I was the one putting the top 100 players on this list, if I was the only one, like if we all sat there and we with a notepad wrote down 100 players in this league, I'm sorry, entering the 2025 season, Tua for me would not be on that list. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a question. How difficult do you think it is to become a top 100 player in the league? You think it's easy? You think that's a easy feat to have? To make accomplish. I'm sorry.
I would say, I know it's going to sound crazy. I would say it's probably easier to make it if you are a quarterback, because we always say that quarterbacks are the most important position on the field.
Facts.
There's only 32 starters, right? So you're not going to put no backups for quarterbacks. But, again, there's a lot of other positions that have, you can make the argument that there's some number 2 receivers that could probably crack the 100 list. Like, look at our team, for example. You have Tyreek. Obviously, for the most part, we all believe he's going to make the list. There would be a case that Waddle, as a number 2, could be a top 100 player. Maybe not based on last season. I'm just saying there's.
But it's going based off last season, so.
Right. So I would say no at that point. But I would say it would probably be easier to make this list as from a quarterback perspective than it would any other position that you're fighting with multiple guys.
So that makes sense. I think Batman said this. I don't want to take credit for it, but he was like, listen, if you break it down like this, right? You got 32 teams in the league. If 3 players off each team make it, that's 96. So you left with 4 positions. 4 people, right? So basically, if you look at it from that standpoint, then you basically only got to be a top 3 player on your team for the most part. And I don't think that's as difficult as everyone is making it out to be. Unfortunately, it don't work like that because you have some teams that have 5 players that'll be on the top.
Mike Best is talking about only 5 or 6 quarterbacks made the list last year. Are you crazy?
Mike Best, there were 16 quarterbacks that made it last year. 16, sir. And True Fin Fan said if it was it based off last season or the career, it's based off the season previous. So it was based off the 2024 season. That's why you see the players go up and down when every year. There was actually, so Mike Best, there was 16 quarterbacks that made it. Um, so look, this is what I would say. For everyone that's saying like or for most of us that didn't believe he was gonna make the list, I didn't. 91 is still good. I'm just gonna say because it's 91 players, not 91. Like it's not a quarterback that's a quarterback position or just a skill position. So that's going for offensive linemen are going to make the list. Running backs, receivers, cornerbacks, every linebackers, they're all going to be make the list, and it's voted on by your peers. So I show this list more respect than most of all of the lists because I respect the peers because they're the one that's on the field. They're the ones that go on to war. They're the ones that could tell. They're in the locker room a lot with a lot of these players, and they could be like, "Man, listen, man, I don't care what y'all say about that dude. He's not him." I remember when on a topic that we're going to talk about a little later, right? When Asante Samuel was telling everybody the year he went to Philly that Nnamdi Asomugha is not all what they make him out to be. He was being saved because he didn't travel, and the cornerbacks on the other side of him was that much worse to where they didn't try him as much. So he only had to be good half of the time, right? But if you see, he was trashed in Philly because you had Asante Samuel on the other side, and he liable to pick six you. So then you saw how trash he was. So this is why I give more kudos to, or I hold these lists at a higher regard because they're players based and they're the ones on the field. They know a little bit more than the people that just outside watching the game and that's breaking shit down. But what I would say is it's I think it was 1,600 or whatever amount of players. I don't do that. I would say we could base it off just, let's say 22 on each team because we're not. Let's take out the bench players. Like, yeah, there's 53 people on the roster, but I think you only carry like 48 in a game, and then there's only 22 starters, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. So yeah, let's keep that number to that.
That kind of breaks it down. That kind of breaks it down right there, Tony.
Okay.
Level 2 new, yeah.
There are less than 800 starters, and a portion of those are borderline quality players. The top 100 becomes less impressive when not considering more than half the league are backups. That I was just going into that. So yeah, that was right on time. However, it's still 100, right? I would say this though, at 91. Right, hold on. Let me address something that someone sent to me, with your boy Reason, right? And this is what I don't like. I don't like when people go on their platforms and try to fool these players. Now, y'all know I'm a Joe Burrow fan, my favorite quarterback in the league, right? So he want to go up there on his channel and say, "Oh, Tua was higher than him the year he was 36. Joe Burrow was 39." But what he left out was that Joe Burrow only played 10 games that season. And people that when that list came out, you had the analysts like Skip Bayless and them other world that was saying Joe Burrow should be higher than that. Even though he only played 10 games, they still were saying they believe he should be higher than that. So for you to come out here and try to say that Tua was higher than Joe Burrow and leaving out the fact that he played only 10 games, which means he missed 7, right? I think that's being disingenuous and misleading our fans. Now let's take that and now compare that to Tua this season. Tua missed 6 games. He made it in at 91. So y'all let that sink in. So when you want to compare Joe Burrow and Tua on this list, the year that Tua missed 6 games, he came in at 91. The year that Joe Burrow missed 7 games, he came in at 39. Three spots lower than Tua's best ranking, 36. And that was the 23 season. So please don't try to come out here and make it seem like Tua is in that category with the elites. He isn't. There's levels. We know this. Y'all should know this. There's levels when it comes to these quarterbacks and them making lists and how their peers look at them. Because even when Tua with Joe Burrow missed those 7 games, his peers still thought he was a top 30, 39 player. Yeah. hey, Shake said no Jess, false advertisement. Jess will be here. She said
that's crazy. That's wild.
He said, yeah, higher like 204. I don't know what that means. He say, let me see. Chat to be live. But anyways, yes, like I was saying, please don't let's not do that when it comes to stop comparing to him. Well, I'm not even gonna say stop comparing them to him because those are his peers. And based on his peers, um, I'll be real with you. He he might not be deserved to be on his list. I think outside of Justin Herbert, all his peers that he got drafted, don't they have playoff victories? Lou, the quarterbacks that came out in that draft class, Joe Burrow was first. Tua,
Yeah,
Jordan
Tua,
Love,
Justin Herbert don't have one.
Justin Herbert. That was I say outside of Justin Herbert, all his peers got they got a playoff
Yeah,
victory.
playoff win. Yeah, and two of the quarterbacks. Yeah, because Jordan Love got one, and two of the quarterbacks have been to Super Bowls, and one of them got one.
Jalen Hurts, yeah, that is
So like,
right.
bro, what are we talking about? Uh,
So all I'm saying is, and then this other narrative about, well, at least for us, right? We never said he was a bad quarterback. We all said he had injury concerns, right? And he has to be consistent in the big games. If he be more consistent, if he shows up, right, and play his best football against those type of players, his peers and the playoff teams, then maybe we can have something there. But to say or to come on here and act like he doesn't need to improve or that we don't see how he play against the lower tiers, the lower tier teams versus how he play against the upper tier teams and say that that's not a cause for concern, that'll be us being disingenuous. And I'm not gonna come up here and be and lie just because that's my team, right? Because that don't benefit the team, right? So this is what I would like to ask all of our fans and his fan base when you come up here and when you mad at people like me and Lewis when we critique everyone on the team, everyone, not just Tua, because Tua is the one y'all give us pushback for. But when we point out that Tyreek misses drop a touchdown pass in every big game, it's not too much pushback on that, right? You get some, but not as much as the quarterback. Right when we come out and say Javon Hollis, we don't care about them coming back on this team. The Christian Wilkins, we didn't think he should get paid. The Robert Hunts, we weren't going to pay him no $20 million. Those, all when we Xavier Howard, everyone, the Ramseys, we've been cooking Ramsey for about a week or two now, or maybe a month. Right when we come out and critique these players, we don't get as much pushback as we do with Tua. But I want to ask the question is, us catering and coddling these players that are not doing anything, what good does that do for our franchise? How does that make our franchise better for us to come out here and just basically be all positive about what we see with this team? Can y'all explain to me what good does that do for this franchise? How did that help us get better? I'm really asking a question. How did that help us out? Because them same guys that we don't want to move off of, that we don't want to critique, right? I ain't gonna say critique, criticize. Those guys are on this team when everyone is frustrated about us not getting playoff victories. But then turn around and just say and try to make it seem like y'all don't want us to critique them. Are we supposed to have nothing but positive things to say about them? That's not how you improve. So that's all. I'm just saying. Did y'all vote on the poll? What the poll was? Let me see. What is the poll, y'all? I seen him said that earlier. So let me see what the poll. Oh, did Tua deserve to be in the top 10? Hell no, he's soft. Yes, I'm a Tua. Why you got to be a Tua near just to say yes? Oh, that's why. And he got to be soft to not make it. I don't know. Yeah, delusional said I voted. But hey, Lou, man, vote. Did you vote on the poll, man? Go take the vote, man. You think Tua should have made the top 100?
No, I did. Listen, I don't need to go vote in the chat. Based on last season, no, Tua should not be on the top 100 list.
Let me ask you
No.
this: do you think Achan gets on that list this year?
Yeah, I would say so. Yes.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, he's never made it.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. He should be on the list.
So, because so if Achan make the list, let me see. So if Tua's on there, we quite sure Tyreek is gonna make it. You're not going from number one and falling out. Um, Waddle, I think he still makes the list. I don't know based on the season last year,
Mm.
but he might be lower. But we'll see. So my question is, Achan and Zach Sealer, do you think either of them make the list? Oh, and do you think Ramsey still make the list?
Well, even if Ramsey makes the list, again, if listen, at the end of the day, Ramsey, if it was me, Ramsey would not be on the list neither, based on last
Mm,
year. Um,
mm,
so no, and if it was me, I'm a Waddle fan. Off of last year, Waddle would not be on this list neither.
mm.
And if I'm going to be fair, Tyreek wouldn't be on the list neither, based on last year. Um,
Ooh.
I would say A-Chain and Sealer would be the only two for me off of last year that should be on the list, if I'm being honest with you. I
All
mean,
right, so now
if you wanted to throw Johnny Smith, I guess, but
Jonnu Smith, yeah.
not really. You know, it is what it is. But those would be my only two. Again, I'm going to get it out the way. It should be Zach Sealer and it should be Devon A-Chain. Everybody else, again, that's cool. We can't tell the peers how they vote. That's how they voted. I'm giving you my opinion, though. Nah, it should just be Siler and A-Chain on that list.
So I would say this. See, being that it's voted on by the peers, let me tell you why this is why I disagree with you. Because even though the numbers dropped, the people that was playing against them, they was on the field when Waddle and Tyreek were still running wide open. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think they're gonna hold that against them. They was on the field, when them boys were still out there running routes and getting separation. And just because the ball wasn't delivered, that don't make them a lesser player than it was last year.
Then
So
how do you put Tua on the list then?
because when he did play, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think now I know you and a lot of people doesn't give Tua credit for, let's just say, the Arizona game and the Buffalo game, right? So based on when he played when he was here, he did play like a good quarterback. Now, this is where I think the problem lies, is that him being 91 and his play and him being voted as one of the 91 best players, the number 91 in the top 100, is the problem that we have as a fan base and as a franchise, is he's going to be good enough to be considered good. But the fact of the matter is, it's not good enough to beat the other great guys.
But
You get what I'm saying?
But Tone, remember the argument, because you always go back to the Arizona game. And yeah, I'll give Tua credit for the game, right? But you remember like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks after the game, it was Color and El Capitan and others that was sticking up or that they were sticking up for like the defense or one of those situations, right? And people were saying, well, the defense costed us the game in Arizona. Right there, that's where you lose the argument for me. I don't care when Tua left the field if he had to lead. I don't care about none of that. I'm not blaming a defense that gave up less points than the team that they lost to. We know what happened, Tone. Because of you, I got to go to the game. I sat in some amazing seats, right? I had a great time at the tailgate. I was a little bit tipsy, right? We even went back into the game and kept drinking. Remember that, Tone?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, I watched Tua Tagovailoa, a ball hit his hand and slide out the back of the end zone for 2 points. We lost by 1. I don't care about how you try to slice it and blame the defense and do that. That play single-handedly lost us the game. I don't care what you try to say and how great he played and stuff. Again, bro, look, I'm going to be honest, right? And let's just call it down the line. You think Joe Burrow is the quarterback we lose that game?
No.
How about Lamar?
No.
How about Josh Allen?
No.
How about Baker Mayfield?
No.
How about Matt
Unfortunately.
Stafford?
No.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we can keep
Man,
going
you ain't
down
gonna
the
say your
list.
boy Jaden Daniels? That's crazy.
Oh, well, Jaden Daniels is a given. I'm just saying, we can keep going down the list. These are the arguments that we have. Well, the defense, bro, they gave up less points than the team that beat us. The team that beat us gave up more points. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? You want me to blame the defense? No, I'm sorry. Tua folded in the moment that we needed him the most. He folded.
Not in no. See that? Okay, so this is where I disagree with. Okay, I'm partially agreeing with you and partially disagreeing with you because there's no way that you could put that loss on the defense, solely saying that the defense is the reason that we lost that game because they gave up the game-winning score. However, to Lewis' point, they still only gave up less points than the other defense did. So to me, I qualify that as a team loss because everything leading up to that game, right? Everyone contributed to the loss because Tua, you didn't have no business giving up 2 points, and defense, even though he gave up those 2 points, the last time he left the field on offense, he left the field with the lead, right? So that's why I'm like, I put that on the full team loss, and I'm just not blaming one side or the other. You know what I'm saying? So that's my standpoint on it because I've always took this stance about, let's say, when it comes to numbers. I really don't care about numbers like that, right?
Hey, Tone, real quick, not to cut you off, right? I'm sorry, and I'm just gonna take this off the screen real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't need that one. Go ahead.
I just want to go. Let me find it real quick. Where is it at? All right, cool. This is your argument, Tone. When the quarterback leaves the field with the lead, it's on the defense.
And that's why I see. Yeah, that's why I don't. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. That's their argument, Tone. All right, cool. Well, if the Dolphins had the lead when Tua Tagovailoa left the field, that means that Kyler Murray team was losing.
Mm-hmm.
What did Kyler Murray do, Tone?
Came in and take the lead.
Thank you. I forget about what the defense did. Mm-hmm. When our team is down, how many times have you seen Tua go down and take the lead?
The Jets game.
Okay, 1.
Baltimore Ravens game.
2.
And the Buffalo Bills game, the only one we won.
Okay, 3.
Oh, no, 4. Opening week, week 23.
Against the Chargers.
Against the Chargers, opening game to 2023.
There you go. Yeah. There's 4. Now, you got any more?
No.
Now,
not off the top of my head.
Okay, cool. And not off the top of your head. So just off the top of your head, you got 4. Now, Tone, this is where the problem lies. It's 5 years in the league. And you talking about 4 games. So in every loss, are we blaming the defense? Are we talking? So it's everybody else's problem. All right, cool. Again, Tone, all I do is come out and I'm going to talk about when the Dolphins win a game this season. I promise you, at least for me, I'm not talking about nothing Tua did. When the Dolphins win a game this season, I'm coming out here and talking about what the running backs did, what the offensive line did, what Christopher Aloysius-Greer did, what Mike McDaniel did, what Stephen Ross did, the parking attendant that told me where to park, the cleaning lady when the bathrooms are so immaculate and clean in the stadium. I'm going to talk about all those people. I will not talk about Tua Tagovailoa because the only time we're allowed to talk about Tua Tone is in the losses, right, of when we're blaming other people to absolve him. No, I'm done. I'm tired, bro. This is sickening at this point.
He said I named 4 last season. Huh? What?
You named 4 last season.
Yeah.
The Chargers was in 2023. Buffalo was in 2023. Baltimore was in 2023.
Buffalo was in 2022, not 23.
Okay, well you named 4 games off the top of your head. All I'm saying is, bro, listen. Again, I'm not going to keep doing this dumb debate. Time will tell. Shout out to TD. He always says it. Time will tell. The fact of the matter is, it's been 5 years, and Tua's good enough not to be good enough. That's what it is. And we can keep blaming every coach, special teams coordinator, defensive coordinator, owner, head coach, and and general manager. Cool. We get it. The fact of the matter is, Tua is the main reason this team hasn't won a playoff game in the last 5 years. He's the main reason. We can sugarcoat all the other stuff. It's cool. You take Tua off this team and insert a lot of other quarterbacks, we have at least one playoff win. Point blank period.
So look, 51 y'all in the building. We only got 28 likes. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And if y'all not subscribed, make sure y'all subscribe. Get the boys up to 600. We are up to 575. So y'all doing good. Remember I told y'all if y'all can get up to 700 middle of the season, I'm gonna do another giveaway. You feel me? So make sure y'all hitting that like button and hit that subscribe button. Please get help us grow. It's two of the main reasons we don't have a playoff win. Oh wow. That should be a poll. Maybe we should put that poll in.
Yes.
Make that the poll.
Well, again, forget about the poll. I mean, we should do one, right? But for Tone, me and you are up here having the conversation. Over the last 5 years, I'm not talking about 26 because I see what Mike Best said. Oh, you're wrong, Lewis, because in 26 years, yeah, cool. I'm talking about Tua Tagovailoa. My argument is with Tua. Tony, insert Baker Mayfield. Let's start low and build our way up. Baker Mayfield over the last 5 seasons, we got a playoff win?
Yes.
Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
Kid in Philly. Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
Yes.
But I thought the general managers. So is Chris Greer would be a good general manager with those guys at quarterback? Is that what you're saying?
That's basically what I'm saying. Yes.
So Mike McDaniel would be a great head coach if he had one of those guys.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
So the parking attendant, they would give you cheaper prices because they would have one of those quarterbacks. They wouldn't charge you the prices.
No, I don't know about your price. They're gonna go up. Price go up. You got Joe Burrow or one of them guys.
Well, Tone,
price going up.
Tone, we know you get the discount, so they probably gonna take. Hey, Tone, we got one of them ones here. Hey, come in for free, Tone. Bring everybody in. We got one of them ones.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? We can sit here and blame everybody else, Tone, for the problems. But if you insert another quarterback, this team is winning playoff games. They're doing it. We can sit here and lie to ourselves and, oh my God, Tua's not doing it. Don't argue with me, argue with the facts. It is what it is. Again, they make the argument, right? We have to go back. These are the same arguments we were having 3 years ago. Tone, oh, well, the team wasn't built around him, and he didn't. Cool. Was Alabama built around him?
Yes.
Did he have pieces there?
Yes.
As a starting quarterback, Tone, at Alabama, how many championships did Tua Tagovailoa win?
0.
A.J. McCarron won one at Alabama. The year after Tua left, Mac Jones went undefeated and won the national championship.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Now, I just want to ask you, Tone, was Mike McDaniel the OC in Alabama?
No, sir.
How about Chris Greer? Was he the general manager at Alabama?
No, sir.
How about Brian Flores? Was he a scout for Alabama?
Nope.
Was Liam Eichenberg an offensive lineman at Alabama?
He was at Notre Dame.
Okay, cool. Like, who else are we going to blame? Come on, Tone, bro. These people cannot be serious, bro.
I hate when people do this. Mike Best. Everyone always bring up Drew Brees. Took 6 years. Cool. Drew Brees didn't take 6 years to win big games late in the season, though. He didn't take 6 years to beat those top 500 teams. Because you can have the same argument for Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning didn't win in his 5th or 6th year either. His first playoff game. But what he was doing was he was competing and beating those teams prior to beating them in the playoffs. So what I want y'all to consider is that all they said was they had to just in the building. They were saying we was false advertising because you wasn't on you wasn't here, Jess.
So
Um
for the chat, I am not feeling well at all, but I'm gonna show up for y'all. I'm gonna come up here and do my thing.
So all I'm saying is let's stop using Drew Brees and let's stop using the Peyton Mannings and their struggles. Yeah, they failed. Let me tell you another thing that they did. They had multiple opportunities to win playoff games too. So they had to get the experience in the playoff to get in that atmosphere. Tua doesn't even make it throughout 4 seasons. So let's say he do go back this year and he failed, right? It's only his second one, but it's still his 6th season. And then we going into another year 7 with the same excuses. So that's the difference between him and those other guys is at least they was consistent and it was on the field for the most part. So please, I hate when people bring up the Drew Breeses of the world, how long it took them. All right, so we not okay. I'm not. People are. So it's 62 of y'all in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Help get the boys up to that 600, man. We 25 subscribers away. So yeah, man, y'all help the boys and the ladies too. I forgot. I can't keep saying the boys. I gotta say Jess too now. Jess comes in sick and Alex can't make a brief camo. But we arguing about accountability. Oh man, listen, man. Whoever the ghost is, I don't troll. Yeah. But listen, 61 of y'all in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe. So Lou, the last thing I would like to say on that topic is I forgot what I was going to even say because of the arena chat. Is even though he made 91 and people want to make this out of a big deal, I don't care about that, right? What I would say is that people was out here taking victory laps and saying all the people that say he wasn't one of them ones, his peers voted him one of them ones, and they seem to think highly of him or higher of him than y'all do, right? And I'm like, the whole thing I'm saying is his peers voted him to be 91. How much did that help us get playoff victories? How much did that help us win in the later part of the seasons? This all I'm trying to figure out. Like, do that automatic absolve him of his performances? Is that what they saying? Because his peers voted him 91? Is that all of a sudden we supposed to come around and say, you know what? Never mind. Can we just say 2 is good enough? Is that what we supposed to say now? Because they voted him to be a 91 top. You know what that tell me? His peers think that the number one the 91 person player in this league is not good enough to win playoff games. The 91st player in this league is not good enough to be your franchise quarterback. And he can't stay healthy. That's the only thing that I get from that. And the people that's below him, not that good either. Because I think number 100 was a rookie, Lad McConkey, or whatever you say his name, right? So please, miss me with that. We're not changing up who we think Tua is because he showed us who he is. We already saw this. That still ain't help us win the playoff game. It still ain't help us win a divisional title. So that's all I'm saying. He's still not good enough to get the job done until he wins the playoff game, multiple playoff games. And I said it too. If Tua stay healthy for the next 2 seasons, I'm still not going to be convinced that he's one of them guys because I'm not going to erase the history. Just can come in sick, but Tua farts and he gets concussed. Yo, y'all crazy. Sign Jess. So what I want to do. Wait, Jess, you want to give your thoughts on Tua making number 91 on the list?
He's soft.
Oh my god. Oh my God.
And when he doesn't make it out of September, I just want to make sure that that's noted.
That if he doesn't make it out of September this year,
Yeah.
I mean, you have a 88% chance or something around that number
It's
on
got to
him
be
not
high.
making out of the September.
But can you play that Asante Samuel video, please?
Oh, you want to get into that?
Yeah,
Do we got it? Is it still
yeah.
backstage? All right, play that. If we got it, put it on the stage. Please, can we play that?
No reason to trade Jalen Ramsey other than they're sensitive. There's no leadership in the Dolphins organization. Mike McDaniels is a pushover. Chris Greer, the general manager, he has no backbone. These guys over here at the Miami Dolphins, they are running this team like a little league team. No one can stand up to the players. They're terrified of their own players, and they have no control over their players.
I just wanted to say for the record, I fucking love shit like that.
Yo. What do you think about it?
I agree with him. I mean, there's certain points that I don't. I don't think that, like, Chris Greer is scared of anybody. I don't think that. Mike McDaniel, that's fucking iffy because I could see him as a pushover. Like, I don't know. That just makes sense to me. But, like, I don't think that he's necessarily wrong.
Well,
I'm agreeing with it. I'm going to roll with that shit because yeah. And he, said some, like, no, I don't want to say positive, but, he brought Ramsey into it. And you know how I feel about that. So,
I think Lewis disagreed. Lewis, how you feel about that, Lou?
Uh-oh.
Lou, you here, Lou?
Yeah, I'm here. And you know what? Yeah, that's some of the dumbest shit I think I've ever heard in my life. That's some of the dumbest shit I think I've ever heard in my life. The first thing the man said was, well, they traded Jalen Ramsey. And why is that? Because are you a damn idiot? That man has to be a damn fool. You know what Jalen Ramsey didn't have on his contract, Tony and Jess? No more guaranteed money. And you know what Jalen Ramsey wanted? More guaranteed damn money. Now, if I would agree that if Stephen Ross, Mike McDaniel, and Chris Greer, if he would have gave Jalen Ramsey more money, I would agree with Asante Samuel Jr. They're pushovers, they're soft, they're this, that, and the third. But when them standing on business and saying, I'm not giving you no more money because your production has been trash since you've been here. See, I wonder how many games Asante Samuel Sr. has watched Jalen Ramsey in a Miami Dolphin uniform. I can give you my opinion. That would probably be 0. Because if he did watch any of those games of Jalen Ramsey in a Miami Dolphin uniform, he wouldn't say the reason they were trading Jalen Ramsey is because, no, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. They traded him, first of all, because he said he didn't want to be here no more. See, this is the problem. And Asante Samuel Jr. being a senior, right? See, he's falling in line. And what's the problem in the world we live in today? The pussification of America. Oh, well, the players run, and because Jalen Ramsey wants this, they need to oblige. No. Ain't that what he's saying? Tone, you can look at that all you want. Listen to what the man said. They're a pushover. That's why they traded him. Do you believe they traded him because he was a pushover? Is that what you're saying?
I don't believe he said that's why they traded him. No, he didn't say that.
Go back and play the thing. He said why he posed a question. He said, why did the Dolphins trade Jalen Ramsey? Then he proceeded to say, the only reason could be is because Mike McDaniel is a pushover. Chris Greer has no backbone. I'm asking you, is that why they traded him?
No, I don't think so. It could be a possibility.
So then you agree with me. So shake your head, you agree with me, and let's keep it pushing.
I don't agree with you.
Asante Samuel Jr. Again. Well,
Senior,
that's what he said, though. That's what the man said.
Play it again. Play it again. Let me see the beginning part. Can we play it again?
Had no reason to trade Jalen Ramsey other than they're sensitive. There's no leadership in the Dolphins organization. Mike McDaniels is a pushover. Chris Greer, the general manager, he has no backbone. These guys over here, the Miami Dolphins, they are running this team like a little league team. No one can stand up to the players. They're terrified of their own players, and they have no control.
1,000%.
Okay.
No one is debating that. What I said was,
go ahead.
What did he say? He said the reason they can only be that Mike McDaniel is soft and he's scared of his players, and Chris Greer don't have no backbone. I'm asking you, Tone, is that why they traded Jalen Ramsey?
No. See, when you say the reason why I said
no.
Don't
tell me what I said. Hold on. Don't tell me what I said. Tell me what he said. That's what he said.
That's what I'm telling you right now. The reason that I said I don't agree with you. What I don't agree with you is because you thinking that he said that's the sole and only reason. But do I think it's part of the reason? Yes. That's why I disagree with you.
That's what the man said. He
okay,
said
and I agree with everything that he said. Yes, I do agree. They are soft. They are pushovers. You know the Nick. See, you about to get me started. Listen, you understand that he wanted to put his hands on Mike McDaniel. So for you to come out here and act like that is not part of the reason, then you're lying to yourself. It's a reason he won't mention Ramsey's name. He didn't mention Ramsey's name not one time.
I'm not saying that there's
okay, so don't say he lying about that is part of the reason.
Just lie. Tony, listen to what I'm saying. I'm telling you what the man said in his opening thing. He didn't say what you just said. Don't try to speak.
You made it seem like that's the sole reason, though.
It's not. It's the only reason, Tony.
But it's part of it. It's part of the reason, though.
Tony, again, you keep saying it's part of the reason. That man sat up there and said the only reason. You can't tell the difference.
I didn't hear the.
Did the man not say that's the only reason? Do we have to play it for the third time?
I heard him say one. What's the? I see the beginning is kind of blurred, so I don't understand.
No, well, now it's blurry all of a sudden.
Like for real, can you hear it clearly? Can you hear it clearly? It's like they started like mid through his sentence to see what really led up to it. You get what I'm saying? And which is, yes, he saw, because what you're saying, right, about no more guarantees and all that in his contract, which is after the season, which means he's guaranteed this season, so he could have played, right? The problem is,
well, Tony, let me ask you this. Cool. I'm going to concede, right? This is where I don't know what the hell y'all want. He is soft. The organization, Chris Greer, is soft, right? According to Asante Samuel Jr. and everybody in the chat, that y'all agree with it, right? That has something to do with it, right? That's the reason they traded. All right, cool. I'm going to concede that argument, Tone. Now, Tone, you know certain things that maybe other people don't know in the chat. So do I. Okay, cool. If Chris Greer turns around and signs Jalen Ramsey to an extension, is he not soft and bow down and has no backbone? Is he?
Yeah, that'd have been soft.
So in either scenario, in either scenario, he has no backbone and he's soft. Now tell me how Chris Greer wins in that scenario.
Just let him play out his contract and get him out the building.
Okay, so cool. So
you don't got to see that. That's what when you try to make it black and white is what I'm saying.
Keep him around, Tom? You wanted to keep him around?
Me personally, no. But that don't change.
Thank you. So what are we talking about?
Hold on. That don't change the fact that the fact that he was disgruntled and ready to put hands on people is not part of the reason they got him out the building. That's what I'm saying. You saying that some of the dumbest stuff that you heard, like he lying. It had something to do with why they got rid of him. The way the man was acting. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that they're not soft, they're not sensitive, then you're lying. Because anyone that get pushback, i.e. the Vic Vangios of the world, right? They tend to get up out of the building. So to sit here and act like that's not true is the part that I disagree with you. Now, if he said only, then no, then you're wrong about being the only reason, right? And that's a personal. That's a personal. But for me to sit here and think that that's not one of the major reasons for him to get out of here, no, because he's under contract already. He wasn't gonna get no more money, right? He only got 1.5 million more this year, so it ain't like it was a money issue. It was him not wanting to be here issue. And that incident he had with Mike McDaniel issue, and we do know they're soft and sensitive. Chris Greer came out and said he deferred more than he would like because he to me he said he said that he deferred more than he would like, right? And to me, the reason because of that is because he's soft, because he's non-confrontational, right? And the same thing with Mike McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? I have the visual of Tyreek yelling at him on the sideline, and he's staring in the abyss. He's looking at in a dead stare, nowhere, scared to turn his head. Not even to tell him, yo, what's going on? Chill. Not even walk away even if you want to do that. Do anything about it. I'm sorry. Right? So, yes, I do think we've been saying this. We've been saying that the coach is soft. We've been saying Mike McDaniel was soft. We've been saying, well, at least I was saying Chris Greer is non-confrontational because to allow people to go over your head, yes, that's soft and sensitive. Right? And we know that's to be true. But just because Asante Samuel said it and we don't like the fact that he said it, don't mean that that's not part of the reason why they got him out the building. Because I think, me personally, if he never got into it with Mike McDaniel like that, they keep him Jalen Ramsey. They're not giving him a raise, but he's playing. He's playing in the Dolphin uniform. Yes, I do believe that. But because of that situation, yes, I think that's why they got rid of him, and they wasn't going to allow him back into his locker room. So I'm sorry. I know we don't like it because it was
no idea. I have no idea how we got from here to where we've been for the past couple of weeks. Because in these Twitter spaces, everybody tells me and preaches how the Miami Heat organization moved. If you do something or deem something that's bad, they're going to hold you accountable and they're going to get you up out of here. So now the Dolphins deemed him of doing something bad. They got him up out of here. And now all of a sudden it's, well, no, what we should have did was make him play out. No, well then what y'all should have did.
No, we didn't say that. I didn't know. No, we didn't say that. Lewis, don't say that.
Are you
no, crazy? I did. You said how do he not be wrong in the situation?
The man literally said, Tone, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. The man literally said the only reason for trading Jalen Ramsey was because they're soft and have no backbone. That's what I'm saying is the dumbest shit I think I've ever heard in my life. Because I don't care about people's feelings. I don't care. I'm not telling you that Chris Greer is not soft. Cool, he's soft.
Right.
Mike McDaniel is soft. Cool, we know that. The man said the only reason to trade Jalen Ramsey is because they're soft. And again, I'm going to ask you, do you believe that that's the only reason that they traded him?
No.
I won't say the only reason. I can't
and so,
say that.
So what's the debate here?
The debate is just because I say it's not the only reason, don't mean that isn't the only. Because I also said was if he don't have that incident with Mike McDaniel, I think he's still in the Dolphin uniform. I don't think they trade him this year. I do think that. So I think that is one of the major reasons they got him out of here. Now, you add that onto his play, you're right.
Now, let me ask you this. See how quickly we forget. And again, I'm more of not even ashamed, Tone. I'm disappointed in you. Not so much everybody in the chat, but I'm disappointed in you. Did Jalen Ramsey, after his first year in Miami, remember the mysterious hamstring injury?
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a problem with Mike McDaniel after his first season?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Right. And you know what he did because he wanted more money? What did he do, Tone?
He faked the injury.
So what makes anybody here think with no more guaranteed money that he wouldn't say, money. Again, going into this year? He has more guaranteed money on that contract?
Yeah, after this year, no. But this year, yes.
Right.
The $16 million, yes, was guaranteed.
And again, that's fine. He's going to make that regardless. What I'm saying is when he faked the injury the first time, he had more years and more guaranteed money.
I don't think that part. I'm not 100% sure if he had more guaranteed money. I'm not 100% sure. I know faked the injury
I'm saying after his first season, he had more guaranteed money. He still faked the injury. So what makes you think now all of a sudden?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think. I'm not. Are we sure he had guaranteed money? Isn't that the reason he faked the injury?
Tone, he had only played 1 year, Tone.
Yeah, but
remember.
But what's his contract? What's his contract?
Tone, they restructured his contract when we traded for him from the Rams.
Right, to give him more guaranteed money.
Moving forward.
Right, so I don't know. Like even if he had, but finish your. Even if he had, I'm not sure.
He did. What I'm saying is, to y'all's point of making him play this season without no problems with the coach. What I'm saying is, when he faked the injury the first time looking for more guaranteed money, he faked an injury. What makes y'all think he wouldn't have did that now? With no more guaranteed years after this year and no more money. What makes you think he was going to just sit here and play in a place that he's not happy at, right? Because again, see, the problem is, here we go. It's Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel. He had a problem with that. Okay, cool. Since we're going to all these interviews and all this stuff, and we're going to believe every podcaster that gets in front of a microphone, I got one. Let's play the video of 2 weeks ago when Mike Florio went up here, and Mike Florio said he heard from what he's hearing, Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek Hill don't want to be in Miami no more because of Tua Tagovailoa.
That's a fact.
Mike Florio didn't mention nothing about Chris Grier.
He said he couldn't confirm it either. He also said he couldn't confirm it.
Again, but he said again. Well, did Asante Samuel say he confirmed anything?
No.
He gave his opinion.
But you said we believe everything. So we giving our opinion.
Do you believe that?
Believe which one? Which part?
Do you believe that Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek Hill don't believe so much in Tua Tagovailoa? Do you believe that?
I believe there's a possibility of that.
Could there be a possibility that they would want to get out of Miami because they don't believe that quarterback could take them ultimately? And again, they're getting later in their career. They don't believe that they could win with him.
Yeah, I believe.
Oh, but no one wants to talk about that though, right?
No, we talked about that before. Remember, we talked about it.
Yeah, we did. We did.
But,
I'm talking about all these people in the chat.
So see, that's a great point that you made. But now that's counter point that for your argument, because Tyreek's still here and he's playing this year. So if you're going based on Mike Florio, Tyreek shouldn't be here, right? Because he said both of them. So when I said if he didn't have that incident with Mike McDaniel, I believe he's still wearing a Dolphin uniform. It makes more sense if you're going to use that argument. Now I said if you take away that conflict, he would have been here. Now add in that conflict, okay, you got to get out the building. So that's what I'm saying is that has a major reason to do with why they got him out of the building. Because if you believe Mike Florio and both of them feel that way, Tyreek is still in the building wearing aqua and orange. And that's why I said what I said. I'm just saying if he said that, I would concede. If he said that's the only reason, no. But do I think that's the main reason? Yes. I think that's the main reason. Oh, hold on. You trying to put your hands on them? You know what I'm saying? All right, we can get you out the building because of how they work. Guess what? What have I always said? The winning franchises, y'all figure that out. But we need you on this field. Y'all figure that out. However, but the production, I'm like, you could get them out the building. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth having a disgruntled and a separated locker room for the production you getting out of Jalen Ramsey. It isn't. So I'm like, you know what? It don't matter to me. I don't mind, right? But that still don't change the fact that if you take away that argument or that fight, him and Mike McDaniel got into it, that he's the possibility he would still be in the locker room and he would still be on his team. That's my only counter argument.
All right, cool. What argument and disgruntlement did Jonnu Smith give him?
He wanted to get paid.
And again, so if they would have paid him, that would have illustrated how the Dolphins have been moving forward, where everybody has killed, right? Oh, why would you play for 1 year of production? Make them prove it again. Make this, that, and the third. And again, I know you wouldn't do it. What I'm saying is, if the Grier haters would say, if he would have paid him, right, they would have said, well, Grier, again, look, he paid another player that's not going to be productive for us. He folded. He gave in, right? Now that he got rid of him, does that show that he has a backbone? I'm just trying to figure out, when does Chris Grier have a backbone? When does the organization have a backbone? And when do they don't?
To me, personally, personally on this situation, getting him out the building, I gave him kudos for that. I'm not saying that. That still don't change the fact of what's going on or how he act. That's why I said if he said that's the
what's
only
going on. What's going on?
That he got into it with Mike McDaniel.
And that's fine. Cool. Players get into it all the time with coaches.
Not trying to put your hands on them though.
And that's fine. I get it. How does and you're right, Tone, it is different. I don't believe Jalen Ramsey is not here because of None of that shit, Asante Samuel. And to be fair, none of the shit you talking about. He's here because he wanted more money.
He's not here.
And the Dolphins were not going.
Lewis, how much money he got when he left?
Again, that's fine. I don't care how
I'm
much
asking
he
you.
got
No,
when he left.
because how much money did he get, bro?
He got 1.5 more than he was going to get here.
Exactly. Now, so you telling me that's what he left for 1.5 million?
Well, again, he didn't know.
Come on, man.
Who knows if the Rams would have gave him more? Who knows? What I'm saying is, I don't care if it was 50 cents more. See, this is what y'all do. Don't move the argument. The fact of the matter is, did he get more?
Who gave him more? Lou?
Who? Pittsburgh.
The Dolphins. You know the Pittsburgh didn't give him that. The Dolphins gave him the 1.5. So if they're willing to give it to him over there, why you think they weren't gonna give him for him to stay on here if it was worth it? Make sense to me. You make it seem like Pittsburgh gave him that. No, the Dolphins gave it to him.
I just want to get this again on the record. You believe that the only reason he's here is because he wanted to fight Mike McDaniel? Is that what you're saying?
That he's not here?
Yeah, is the reason he's
not
here.
The reason he's not, I said that is the main reason. Yes, I believe that is the main reason. Now you add that on to the production, and it's not worth keeping a person like that in the locker room. These are facts. If you think I think it's more of a reason because he wanted 1.5 million than him trying to put his hands on Mike McDaniel. I'm sorry, we gonna always disagree against that. No, Lou, come on, bro.
You think
it's not for 1.5 million, bro?
You think that's what he was asking for from Miami was 1.5?
I'm just telling you that's how much he got. I don't know what he asked for, and that'll be only speculation. Only thing we could go by is what actually happened. And what actually happened is he got 1.5 million.
Again, I just want to get you on the record. You believe it's because he wanted to fight Mike McDaniel.
That's the main reason. Yes,
okay.
I think that's the main reason they make sure they got him out the building.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right. Well, I disagree.
I mean, I get you. So you think it was for 1.5 million? You think it was because he wanted more money?
No. Well, yeah, absolutely. He wanted more money. Absolutely.
Oh, but that's the reason you think he's gone because he wanted more money.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question: do Tyreek want more money?
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what he wants?
All right, wait a minute. Do Tyreek have guaranteed money after this year? Then
who knows what he wants?
No.
The
answer is no. Do Tyreek have guaranteed money after this year?
Do you think they're keeping Tyreek with a $51 million cap hit next year?
Next year, no. But I'm talking about this year. This year alone, you have two people, right? In the same scenario.
I would have been traded his ass too.
Huh?
I would have traded him too.
You would have, but I'm saying the Dolphins didn't. This is based on right. Ramsey is gone.
What does that mean?
Because you think he's gone because he don't.
I'm not subscribing to none. Again, hey, respectfully, I'm not subscribing to none of that shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. So you think he's gone because he wanted more money, right?
Absolutely, that's what he wanted.
So why is Tyreek not? Why is Tyreek still here? They in the same boat.
How the hell should I know that? I know that Jonnu Smith wanted more money. They got him up out of here too. That's all I know. Maybe Tyreek ain't asking for more money. Who knows? All I know is the two guys that I know that was looking for more money, they got up out of here.
Because Ramsey didn't ask for more money.
Man,
you assuming he asked for more money?
No, I was told he was asking for more money.
That's cap.
Well, again, cool. You're gonna tell me what I was told now?
No. I'm talking about that he was asking for money. Whoever told you that was cap.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe. Hey, it could be. All I know is right.
Did they tell you Tyreek was asking for more money?
Again, all I know is the dudes that have been asking for more money this season have gotten up out of here. That's all I know.
So Tyreek shouldn't be here then, right?
I don't know if Tyreek's asking for more money.
No, now you don't know. He don't got no more guarantees.
I don't know that. I
Your whole reason was.
I'm just telling you, I don't know that.
So Tyreek was acting a fool until he got the more money. They gave him more money. Jalen Ramsey did the same thing, right? But now all of a sudden you don't know just because Jalen Ramsey faked the injury, right? And you going on based on his history, you saying he want more money. But now when it comes to Tyreek,
I'm going on based on what I was.
Now told. You're saying, oh no, we don't know if he want more money. Stop, bro. We know everyone on this team don't have guaranteed money after this year.
Told. Well, again, I don't know nothing about that.
That's all I'm saying, bro. Come on, let's be realistic.
Again, I'm being realistic.
If he asks for more money,
I'm not,
cool.
No,
I'll give you that.
Stop.
So is Jonnu and so is Tyreek. The problem is, right?
I don't know if Tyreek's asking for more money. Have you heard it?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay.
So every time somebody asks for more money, we're just going to be constantly in this same like rotation, year after year after year.
Right. And first of all, you're not Jonnu, right? You're going to get what you can out of Jonnu, right? Because none of them have more money. You're probably going to move off of them. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get what you can. Now,
but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if we're going to do this year after year, then Mike McDaniel is still a soft bitch. So
the problem is, if you think Ramsey wanted more money, then you know for a fact, we know this. We know Tyreek want more money, right? And you know what I'm saying is the reason why I'm saying bringing up the money is because they're not gonna move off the Tyreek. We know more money, right? The problem is Tyreek ain't out there trying to fight Mike McDaniel. Alex must be asking for more money.
Tyreek came out in an interview and said he wanted to put his hands on Mike McDaniel. And Tyreek is the one that we seen on Monday Night Football screaming and yelling at Mike McDaniel. We didn't see Jalen Ramsey do that.
He did.
We didn't see Jalen Ramsey do that.
We did you see him want to put his hands on him?
Again, I'm telling you. Oh, so now you want to believe? No.
I'm just asking. Well, allegedly, it didn't happen then.
Well. Remember, I was told that in that locker room, Jalen Ramsey tried to put his hands on Mike McDaniel. So you want to believe that, but you don't want to believe that he was asking for more money. That's what you're saying. I
never said that he wasn't. What I'm saying is that's not the reason that
Jess, did the man not tell me I was capping?
He did.
I said the person that told you that was capping. That's what I said.
So that same person that told me Jalen Ramsey was trying to put his hands on Mike McDaniel, he was right on that though, right?
I just said we don't know that.
Oh, now we don't know.
So you want to choose to believe now? Do you want to choose to believe what you want or what you don't want to hear? Because at the end of the day, right? If he even if he did ask for more money, I'm telling you that's not the reason he's not in the Dolphin uniform. That's what I'm telling you.
Real quick, Tone, Jess. Now I do agree with this. Alex needs to put his damn hands on this link. That's what. Yeah. We talking about putting hands on something. Alex definitely needs to put his hands on this link. That's for damn sure.
Oh my God,
that's a fact.
Hey, listen, only thing I'm gonna say is, I'm not mad at what happened, but to say that that's the reason that he's out, I think the sole reason is because of the issue with Mike McDaniel, or I think he would still be in the Miami Dolphins uniform. That's a fact. I'm sorry. You know, whether you believe, I ain't gonna say that's a fact. That's my opinion. Dolphins, the Blitz pickup equals the Dolphins organization. Alex equals Jalen Ramsey. I don't know. Listen, man. Listen, y'all. Whatever y'all want, like, believe what you will. All I'm saying is, just because it's what's his name, Asante Samuel Sr., let's not act like we're gonna act like and pretend like this franchise is not sensitive and stuff. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We know how they move, and
no one's debating that, Tone. Again, I just want to clear the air. I believe Mike McDaniel's soft. Cool. Chris Greer don't have no backbone. Okay, he self-admitted that. I can't do nothing for him. He came out and said that. All things are true. Asante Samuel Jr. said the sole reason that Jalen Ramsey was traded was because of that, and I'm telling you, he's wrong.
Okay, I will give you that. I'll give you
That's
that.
what he said. He was wrong.
I don't think it's the sole reason. I don't. Because if I would say this, if he was giving you better production, they would. I can't even say that because I don't even know how they move. But I believe they'll be willing to work it out if you were getting better production out of him. For all the people that was thinking that he's still the top whatever cornerback this is, if he was giving you number one type cornerback production, man, listen, they would have to figure that out. Can I ask you both a question? Are we ready to say the rebuild are we ready to say the rebuild to a failure? I don't know what you mean. Is a failure? I guess
it is a failure.
Yeah, that we're ready to say the rebuild is a failure, or are we going to pretend like it's not? For me, it is.
It is.
At this point, how can you not say it was a failure? Your number one quarterback, the first your first overall pick selection, your first selection in that draft hasn't got you a playoff victory, hasn't got you a AFC East title yet, and you paid him like a top tier quarterback. I'm glad you brought that up. That gave me something that I wanted to ask you, Lou, and maybe you too. Just you, I want you to answer this first because you ain't been here. 71 of y'all in the building, please. If y'all are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit that like button for us. Try to get us the team to 600. So Jess, you first. I'm gonna ask you this. Tua, I believe it's going to be anywhere between 14 to 16 quarterbacks make the list, right? So essentially, I'm saying not Tua. Tua is a 15, let's say 14 or 15 quarterback. In your opinion, being the 15 quarterback, do you think he deserved to be getting paid how much he's getting paid? And do you think that that's a franchise quarterback?
No and no.
In either one of the situations?
Either one of those situations.
What about you, Lou?
No.
At all, right? So I'm asking that. I said that for a reason because all this clamoring and people trying to poke their chest out about him being a top 91 quarterback. Let's see how many quarterbacks make this list. And let's see if he's justified with getting that doggone money. And let's see how many of them quarterbacks on this list is getting paid way less than he is and doing more. And then y'all tell me, should we be happy about him making number 91, or should we be pissed off that we don't get the production out of him based on how much we paying him? I'm just trying to figure that out. Because everybody want to say, oh, we should be happy he made the list three years in a row. Why? How many playoff games him making the list gave us?
Hold on. I want
how
to see
many
this
AFC championship did he give us? Huh?
I want to take a picture of that comment right there.
Don't get excited when we win the division. First of all, Mike Best, you can't tell us not to get excited about nothing. It's still our team. You know what I just noticed? Hold on, let me see. My dog Tua made the list 3 times. We have to average each spot, and he played less games. I was just about to say, I just realized my boy Game Boy 305 is not a mod, and then you go with that. We're gonna postpone that a little bit. But what I am gonna say is, I'm sorry, making this list did not help us get no championships. Did not help us get a playoff victory. It did not help us get nothing, basically. Like nothing that's worth saying something. Because I think at least, right, at the bare minimum, if we won a playoff game, we could at least say, yo, listen, bro, we ain't win a playoff game in 25 years. At least give him that credit. We can't even say that. Now when you compare him to his peers, it get even worse. Because him and Justin Herbert, they the same people right now. I'm sorry, but how many playoff appearances do Justin Herbert got? Do he got more? Do he have 2 or do he got 3?
He got 2.
So they got the same amount of playoff appearances, right? And they have the same amount of losses. Same amount of wins. But everyone else in that's going to make this list, they got playoff appearance, AFC championship.
At least Justin Herbert was able to start both of his playoff appearances.
That's another one. And this is the thing that I'm talking about, bro. Like, we can't listen, man. The standard has to be raised. I'm sorry. The standard has to be raised. Like, what is this? How far we fell as a fan base, that a player making a top 100 list is something to pump your chest about? Now we out here acting like King Kong because he made 91. I'm sorry. See, the same reason we was criticizing Marino, I'm not here for personal accolades. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm here for team success. Now, if you tell me he was a quarterback that was doing all he can, and for the most part, not every time, for the most part, you couldn't blame him for a lot of these wins because he did everything he can to deliver that win. That's a different argument. But for the most part, he's the reason we losing these games. let's keep that. Let's be real on that. What they say at this point, Tony, I don't have Tua in my top 20. Availability and showing up for work is also part of the investment. That's what. Dang, they just took it down. Okay, took it down in mid sentence. There, I don't know what that is. What was that? That's a different one. That was a different one. Okay, there we go. That's what we paid $212 million when we could have signed him to a 5th year. To a 5th year. No, you're wrong on the last part. He had already signed. Keyword availability. Availability is your best ability.
I kept that card just for you.
True fan, I'm telling you, he was already signed to that 5th year option. They had already picked that up. So they already had him on a 5th year option. So that makes it even worse that they gave him more money. What that other comment that they that we have brought up? Was it Mike Besson? Why can't fans just accept that Tua is the quarterback? Why do we always have to keep talking about another quarterback? No other fan base does this. Mike Best, I don't know how long you've been here, but that is so far from the truth that I can't even begin to tell you how far you are from the truth. Every fan base you go into, they compare their quarterbacks to the other quarterbacks.
For somebody that we're paying the amount of money that we're paying him, I want to compare him to other people.
He needs to be compared to his peers. When you go into Ravens space, they're comparing him to Joe Burrows and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. When you go into Buffalo Bills space, they're comparing Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. I don't know where you've been, brother, but this is how it is. Because those are the guys that he compete against, and those are the guys that he has to beat in order to become successful. So please, that's the problem with this fan base, is that we are so sensitive about our players that we can't even critique them. Right, but they're not trying to get another one because they're winning playoff games. They have Josh Allen was 13 seconds away from being in a Super Bowl. 13 seconds. Lamar Jackson got 2 MVPs and division titles over there. And playoff victories. Joe Burrow, we don't need to talk about him. We already know Super Bowl, two AFC championships, and beat Patrick Mahomes. There's only 2 quarterbacks that beat Patrick Mahomes. Oh, now it's 3. There's only 3 quarterbacks that beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Tom Brady twice, Joe Burrow once, and now Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. So we don't even got to talk about Joe Burrow. That's why they not talk about getting other quarterbacks. Us over here, you want us to be complacent with what Tua has been giving us? That's what I'm saying. Like the it's crazy to me. You right? Don't compare him to you're trying to compare him to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson always loses playoffs. You know what? Lamar Jackson got 2 MVPs, and he got 2 playoff victories. So at least you earn some grace, bro. These are different. Like, this is common sense to me. So I just don't get it. At least that earned you enough grace. He got playoff victories. Now, if we was up here saying that the only way we want to keep Tua is if he give us a Super Bowl, then I'll get your argument. Then I'll say, you know what, you're right. But we're not saying that. We're saying with a three game lead in 5 games, can you deliver us an AFC championship?
So I don't even know what that comment means, to be honest with you.
What? Which one?
The one you just read off Mike Best. I don't even know what that means. Let me put this back up. Let me just. Lamar always loses in the playoffs. Just saying, and how long can Burrow live off one Super Bowl appearance? See, this is what's crazy about this comment.
Yeah, I got
it. But this is no, mine's going to be short. It's crazy coming from Mike Best, who defends Tua at every step.
Thank you.
If we can't give Lamar Jackson, who's won playoff games and MVPs, and we can't give Joe Burrow leverage because he's been to a Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game, then that's fine. I'm with it, right? Let's hold them accountable.
Facts.
But then what the hell are we waiting for Tua Tagovailoa for?
Facts. What?
How can we say, hey, Baltimore and Cincinnati, they should be looking to come off, but we're giving grace to Tua?
Might bet you the new Alex Renee.
Like, what are you talking about?
What, Mike? You better than that, my brother. What? You can't be out here defending Tua. Everything about him, you can't be defending him. And then you gonna talk about Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow? How much? What? Make it make sense, bro. Please make that make sense. That had to be a troll. You didn't think that through. When you put that comment down, you didn't think that through. It's crazy to me. Nah, yeah. Oh, look, Mark said the rabbit dolphin is bad. Oh, man. Trey, see, y'all be in y'all feelings, bro. You know what? You lucky, Trey. I ain't gonna put it up because you're cursing in it, but you said shaking my head. Tua is trash, but to sit on Dan, laugh out loud, make it make sense. You know what? I wasn't gonna do that. Matter of fact, you was in a space, so I'm not even gonna waste my time. I'm going. Mediocrity, man. Mediocrity. Okay, cool. Dave Craig, Mark Malone, Bernie Kosar, Steve the Berg, Stan Humphries, Joe Montana. You get credit for that one. Doug Flutie, John Kitna. Those are the quarterbacks that Dan Marino beat in the playoffs. Exactly, Dre. Steve the who. Furthermore, since we want to talk about shitting on Dan, the total record of those quarterbacks that I named in the playoffs are 32 and 31. That's their total record. So at least they're above 500. Give you credit for that. Now take away Joe Montana, who he beat in Kansas City, by the way. Not when he was not that it wasn't the 49ers Joe Montana, right? He beat him in Kansas City. But if you take him away, which he's 16-7, the record of the rest of the starting quarterbacks that he got a victory on, it's 16-24. So Joe Montana account for half of the victories of the total victory that them quarterbacks have in the playoffs. Take him away, and that's 16-24. Those are the quarterbacks that he beat in the playoffs. But we want to give him all this credit. I'm so sorry. And I'm sorry to tell you, and that hurt your argument. Rex Grossman been to a Super Bowl. Is he better than Dan? No. But guess what? Rex Grossman was able to go to a Super Bowl in a team game, right? And Rex Grossman, for the most part, he didn't play too well in that playoff run. He didn't, right? But do you want me to start give you Dan Marino numbers in those games? Do y'all want me to start giving y'all numbers in his games? How many times he's had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions? 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions? Please don't make me start doing this because I went back and did it. I'm sorry. I know y'all get sensitive when we start talking about Dan Marino, so please leave that out of there. Oh, wow. He said, I'm not going to take that away from him. The personal accolade, I'm not taking away from him. We need a poll asking if Dan deserves a gold jacket. I'm not going to take away his personal accolades. He said,
I'm with Dre. 100%.
I would not rest until that statue and that jersey are gone. Now, this is a fact. He talking about that Michael Jordan jersey in the Heat Raptors.
No, he talking about that Dan Marino statue outside of Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, he talking about the statue, the Dan Marino statue, and the Michael Jordan jersey in the Miami Heat Raptors.
And I stand with him 100%.
Don't make us. I will make all y'all get in y'all feelings if we start talking about Dan Marino.
At the end of the day, Dan Marino.
That's the problem with y'all sensitive fans. Y'all fall in love with players, but I didn't tell one lie, and everyone is saying, "Oh, you're crazy." I ain't telling a lie. I just gave you his numbers. I ain't say a lot yet. But you know what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna say, oh, it's Chip difficult? No. My argument was, is that worth a statue outside the building? Does he deserve his gold jacket? He has the numbers to be a gold jacket, right? Yes, I'll give him
like you would give Tua a statue. I'm just gonna say that. You sound like that.
Who, me?
You.
Why? When you want Marino to have a gold jacket? Why would I give Tua? Why would I give Tua one if
I don't know, you just seem a little bothered
about him getting a jacket? I mean,
yeah.
That means I don't think he's good enough to get a statue. I think you're looking at it the wrong way.
What Tua's done, and people are like, oh, like Tua's the greatest that we've had.
But what that got to do with me? I don't think Tua is that good.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. What are you saying? I don't think Tua is that good.
Upset about this, then like I don't know, like in 20 years time or 30 years time, like I hope you got these numbers from Tua so you can look back on them.
But Tua, I don't think Tua should be on his team. So what makes you think I want Tua to get a coach?
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying, stand on that. Because Lewis like, oh yeah, like Tua, but we can't fault him. Blah 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 blah.
No one said we can't fault Tua.
No one is saying we can't. No one is saying we can't fault Tua. And again, I think people, because I see Trey in here talking about this is casual talk, and that's fine.
Did he really just say that?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to the last person that told us we had casual talks? Trey, were you not here?
But that's his opinion, right? Let's say Trey is right. Let's say it is casual talk. I think people are when I come out and I say Tone Jess Tua's trash, right?
Jay say Jess is drunk. She got to be drunk.
I tell people
it make no sense.
I tell people when I come out and I say Tua is trash, I come out and I tell people for the most part I'm trolling, right? Everybody knows that Tua is not trash. He's just not good enough to be, good enough, right? Okay, cool. No one is saying that Dan Marino doesn't deserve a gold jacket.
No one said that. But
he should be commended. He should be commended for what he did in the league. It was amazing. It was great. All we're saying is, though, at the end of the day,
not that one.
Tone, you can bring it up if you want. Go look at Dan Marino's numbers against Buffalo.
Woo!
He had a losing record against Buffalo in the regular season
and the playoffs
and in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we sit here and we talk about Tua is not good enough to beat Buffalo, no one has an issue. Well, then what is the issue to say Dan Marino was not good enough to beat Buffalo? Because that's what the facts are.
I think he was 13 and 17 against them, right?
Why are people in their feelings over the facts? See, Jess, again, I'm not trying to date you or nothing like that. And I don't mean from a physical standpoint. I'm saying age-wise, right? I'm not trying to date you in that. I remember the days of when Miami used to play
and Marino
Buffalo.
Equals Philip Rivers is crazy.
Well, again, call it what you want. When Marino used to go play Buffalo, we had no chance. And listen to the arguments, Jess, right? What people say why this current Dolphin team can't go into Buffalo and win. What do they say? Tua, he can't win in cold weather. Tua, he can't throw in cold weather, right? That's what they say. All right, cool. Jess, did Dan Marino have a problem with arm strength?
No.
Nope.
Dan Marino grew up in Pittsburgh. You think he had a problem being around cold? He went to college in Pittsburgh. You think he had a problem playing in cold weather?
Not at all.
Right. You know what that tells me? He wasn't good enough to beat him.
But that NFL is different from this NFL.
What you mean?
How?
Like the league is different in general.
They didn't throw and catch the ball back then?
They did, but just in general, like you could say the same thing about the NBA. Like the NBA back then is different than the NBA now. So you're talking about almost different standards.
But what? So you saying that to say what? Are you giving Dan Marino an excuse for losing?
I'm not giving him an
That's what it
excuse for
sounds like.
losing, but I'm gonna say it's a different time. So
But
I'm gonna let
they
him
all
have
played
his
in that time,
accolades,
though, right?
have his statue and have his gold jacket. I'm not gonna take that away from
No,
him.
he can have his
because
gold
That
jacket.
was good in that time.
Hold on, yes, for gold jacket worthy. I'm talking about a statue in front of our stadium. Now, how many players from that the Super Bowl, those two Super Bowls, have a statue in our stadium?
So you just want to take away a statue, but leave him with a gold jacket?
You can't take away his personal accolades. Yeah, he can have that. He earned that. The way he was throwing the
Well,
ball.
what is the problem about him having a statue? Like, I don't like.
And that's what we could get into, because the statue is showing the standard of what you want your players to reach, right? Outside of Miami Heat arena, you have a statue of Dwayne Wade. He brought you 3 championships. You understand me?
Right.
So so why isn't Larry Tunker, Mercury Morris, why isn't any of these guys have statues out there? The ones that brought you a championship, the ultimate goal. This is what we play for, right? And Marino, he hasn't gave you that. And his numbers, he's 8-10 in the playoffs, right? He's 1-3 against Buffalo in the playoffs. And you want to know who that one victory came against? It was Doug Flutie. And he's 13-17 against Buffalo overall, which is supposed to be our boogeyman, right? So now, so when we say he's only lost 3 times to Buffalo in a playoff, but he lost 10 times in total. So what about the other 7 teams, right? You want to know the player that he lost to? Dave Craig, Joe Montana, Tony Eason, Jim Kelly, obviously the 3 times, right? Stan Humphries, Drew Bledsoe, John Elway, and Mark Brunell. You know what that tell me? When you go against your peers, you can't beat them. And then when you go look at the numbers, if you can't tell me that you're doing your best work when I'm seeing you throwing 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions in these games. Now, you tell me Marino was out there throwing 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Cool. You get what I'm saying? He's throwing. He had 3 touchdowns one game, but he also had 3 interceptions that one, that same game, right? So if we gonna host Tua to the standard, which we are, for how he perform in big games, why we can't do the same thing with Marino?
We can.
Why? Because we love him? Because we think he's good? Because we're not finished? Because he's our favorite players? Because I thought we won championships, right? I thought we want our players to show up in the big moments. So when the big moments come around, how come Marino ain't delivered then? He went to a Super Bowl. And everybody keep on saying he went to the Super Bowl. Y'all know who the quarterbacks he beat on that Super Bowl run? Dave Craig, Mark Malone, and I think Bernie Kosar. Those are the quarterbacks that he played against in that Super Bowl run. I think the second one he beat Steve Berg and Stan Humphries. I think that year he beat, because I think we did beat San Diego. I think. But when he goes up against the Joe Montanas, his peers, the ones that's like that, when he goes up against the Drew Bledsoe, the Jim Kellys, he folds every time. He folds. He said, look how many times, we told you how many times he went to play. Because he's 8-10. He took us to the playoff 10 times. He's 8-10. It's crazy. I don't care about his gold. All y'all keep saying about the gold jacket. We're not talking about the gold jacket. Get that out of your mind. He earned that. We talk about that statue, which means this is the standard. So what is our standard? Personal
But
goal?
does the statue necessarily have to mean that that's a standard? No.
No, what does statue mean?
You can easily say like the statue is just like a representative of his accolades.
What accolades do we have for the Dolphins? What accolades do we have for the Dolphins is what I'm saying.
And then he's in the building on top of it. So now if you take away the statue, then he better get out the building and stop being like peer support all the time. Because if you're saying the statue is
good, let him go.
If you're saying the statue is the standard and he's in the building as peer support, whatever one of his role changes to, wants to be, whatever else, not get him out the building then too.
Get him out.
I'm just saying.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
We started that.
It's crazy. Yeah, because it's the fact in my mind is like, this is why I don't want to hear none of you complaining about fucking Tua. I don't want to hear none of y'all complaining about the mindset. I don't want to hear none of y'all complain about the culture, because y'all are cool with a guy that haven't brought us a championship being the logo of our team, being the statue for this team. He's out there. There's only 2 people got a statue in our stadium. Don Shooter, the greatest coach, the winningest coach in NFL history, and the only undefeated team season. He has a statue. And then you got Marino. You know what wins bring you? Super Bowls. He bought us 2 of them. And you're going to put next to him, well, on the other side of the building, not next to him, Dan Marino. It kills me. Tony, when is the last time you seen a winning QB? Jay Fiedler. And he was trash. Jay Fiedler, sir. Chad Pennington was on his team when we won a division title. And he's nowhere near as skilled as he's nowhere near as skilled as Dan Marino. But I seen him win division titles.
Look at Dre.
Oh, just put it. Just I seen this coming. I just saw you. He said, "I'm just saying, Tony sounds why? Because I don't want Dan Marino to have."
I don't know. I feel like you relate the statue like to, I don't know. You read too much into it.
No, I think you're not reading enough into it.
So we're at odds tonight. Okay, that's fine.
I'm just saying
you like studying this statue the whole like. Deep.
No, we didn't study the statue. We said we don't want it there. I'm not studying nothing. I'm studying Dan Marino. I don't want it there. What does it symbolize? All you have to do is get a lot of yardage, throw a couple touchdowns, and that's good enough for this franchise? Don't nobody want to win anymore, huh?
So if you take it down and whatever else, we just been shit since the beginning. That's what you want.
No, where is Bob Greasy? Where is Mercury Morris?
Yeah,
where is Larry Zonka? The guy that brought us championships.
To answer your question, Jess, we've been shit ever since Dan Marino got in the building, and moving forward, we've been shit. Yeah. Before Dan Marino, we were good, but when he got here and after, we've been shit.
I just don't really care too much for the statue. If he has a statue, he has a statue.
And that's the problem. And that's what I'm saying. The mindset, and we wonder why this team is like this. Why we just can't seem to get over the hump. And we keep telling y'all mindset. If you have that type of mindset, then you're not setting a standard. It starts with everything. And me going down, looking at it, and I'm like, yo, hold on. I was young. So I was just a fan of the team. But when I'm older and I start doing research and I start looking at the game from the outside looking in and not just as a fan, I'm like, yeah, you got a gold jacket. You were the man when it come to putting them yards. You know what I'm saying? You did bring us back a countless a number of times. And I also point out in some of them games that he brought us back, he was part of the reason for us being down. So kudos to you for being able to dig us out of the hole that sometimes you put us in. So you get all the praise for that, for your personal accolades. All I'm saying is when you want something to symbolize for a team, this is a team game. So I think you should praise the ones that got it done as a team, which is, I could see if I just said, no, take Dan Marino down. I just asked the question. How do he has a statue, but the Mercury Morris, the Larry Zonkers, the Bob Greasy, the one that brought you 2 championships and 1 undefeated team, how does neither one of them got it? You don't think either of them deserve a statue?
I didn't say that.
I could care less about the statue, to be honest with you. Dan Marino wasn't good enough. Point blank period. Like what are we arguing here? Forget about the statue. Take the statue out of this argument. Y'all want the statue? Cool, y'all got the statue. He still didn't win shit. That statue That gold jacket is not going to go back and take away the fact that in the playoffs he had a losing record. That statue and that gold jacket ain't going to change the fact that against Buffalo in the regular season and postseason, he had a losing record. That gold jacket and that statue is not going to change the fact that he was only good enough to beat Dan Craig and Steve DeBerg and Mike Malone, the brother of the coach, the Denver Nugget coach. Those are the guys he was able to beat. Now what? What are we going to say now? What does that statue give you?
Absolutely nothing.
Thank you. What does the gold jacket get you? Nothing. He wasn't good enough.
That's what I'm trying to tell people. But, you know, to get in our fitness when we talk about Dan Marino, though.
Point blank, period. I see everybody in the chat now all of a sudden. These are the same people, and this is what I said, Jess. You weren't in the Twitter space, but this is what I said in there. The same people that sit here and blame Tua Tagovailoa for everything are the same people in the chat now talking about, well, ain't it a team game? Oh, yeah, I thought it. No, it's not a team game. No, it's not. Do you got one of them dudes or not?
Mike Best, sometimes you got to stop talking. You do know one of the greatest offensive linemen in our team history is Richmond Webb. Dan played with him for like 10 years. What are you talking about? The good defense. You do know he had the Zach Thomas is on his team. He had the Jason Taylors. He had the Trace Armstrong. He had the Tim Bowens, the Daryl Gardners. You do know that. He played with the Brian Coxes. He played with the Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, the Louis Olivers of the world. You do understand that, right? Troy Vincent. Are you crazy or something, bro? Did you just start watching this team? This man is crazy. Anyways, we almost 2 hours in here. I told y'all, didn't see you're gonna hurt a little fender. It's still 66 Army likes. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like. I know y'all might. Y'all prefer maybe hit the dislike button. That's cool with me because I know how people get in their feelings about Dan Marino. But sorry, over here we tell the truth. I'm sorry. Like you know what people are doing in the chat. Let me pull this up. You better be a Tua fan. Dan Marino beat the 1984 Chicago Bears, one of the greatest teams in history. Now, when we bring up Tua one victory, the comeback victory against Baltimore, I don't want none of y'all to say nothing. When we bring up the one time he beat that Buffalo team, I don't want no one to say nothing. So I don't know what we got going on here. I had one. I'm looking. Ben, I got you because I see.
I don't know. At the end of the day, the team is soft as fuck.
Running because I see one of them said that Joe Burrow sounded. Here we go. Marino sounds like a young Joe Burrow. That is fact. Now, when I said that earlier, people got in their feelings. But I did point out Joe Burrow is 5-2 in 2 playoff appearances. Dan Marino first playoff appearance, he was 2-2.
And the crazy thing is, when you said that,
and the quarterback that he beat.
Thank you.
The quarterback that he beat, the Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes, those are the quarterbacks he beat.
And the Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen. The ones. So, you want me to go read the quarterback that Dan Marino beat?
So Joe Burrow is beating his peers. The guy he's compared to. Dan Marino wasn't beating none of those peers.
Y'all know better than doing this with me. Is y'all crazy right now?
Well, hey, Tone, was Dan Marino compared to Steve DeBerg back then?
No. Mark Malone.
Was he compared to Mark Malone back then? Dave Craig. That's who they were comparing Dan Marino to.
The only reasonable guy he got away, which is one of the greats, right? Is Joe Montana, and you can't take that away. Yes, he did his thing. Even when he wasn't in Kansas City, Joe Montana turned that franchise around. So I give him that. But Doug Flutie, John Kitna, Stan Humphries, Steve DeBerg, Bernie Kosar, Mark Malone, Dave Craig. Stop. Get out of here. Don't you ever mention Joe Burrow and his playoff success with Dan Marino. It's levels.
Okay.
Y'all crazy? But don't come. You know Joe Burrow is one of my guys, bro. So don't come to me
I was
with
gonna say,
that.
I thought you liked Joe Burrow.
I am. That's why I'm telling them. Do not compare. You must be doing. You don't understand what I'm saying. That's
No,
what I'm
I'm
saying.
just saying.
Do not compare DeMarino, right? His playoff, because they trying to say that Joe Burrow is DeMarino, which based on the two AFC Championship appearance and one Super Bowl appearance, yeah, you have a point. But I'm pointing out the guys that Joe Burrow beat to get to where he was, and opposed to the guys that DeMarino beat to get to his. It's night and day. Dog Flutie.
I hate when we have comments like this, by the way.
Bring it up.
Did you guys ever even see Miami win a playoff game? Do you know what that feeling is like? This and that. Well, I do.
Yeah.
I was in the building. when Lamar Smith ran for the touchdown to beat the Colts.
To beat the Colts in overtime. In double overtime.
Yeah, I was in the building. I was there.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been part. And again, this is those comments I was telling you about, right? Oh, Dan Marino, he always gave us a shot to win. Cool. Not against Buffalo. Not against Buffalo. In the 80s, in the 90s, whenever you wanted, he wasn't beating Buffalo. So what are we talking about? And no matter what era he's seen them, in whatever era Dan Marino seen Buffalo, he wasn't beating them. Cold weather, warm weather, didn't matter.
Oh, somebody spelled backpedal. I ain't gonna say nothing, Louis. I think they taking a shot. If you know, you know.
Oh shit, Mike, that's taking a shot.
Well, again, that's fine.
What's funny is Marino is Louis' favorite Dolphin player.
What does that even mean?
That he's your favorite.
I don't know. Apparently, you like him a lot.
Okay, cool. Hey, can you put that comment back up? Because I just want to illustrate something.
Oh, okay.
Right. Dan Marino is my favorite Dolphin player, and he wasn't good enough, so I had a shit player. And Mike Best's favorite player is Tua Tagovailoa. And Mike Best has a player that ain't worth shit neither. So all it means is me and Mike Best, our two favorite players, were ain't shit people.
Can I highlight Trey's comment? Oh.
Which one is it? Click on it.
Wait a minute. I tried to.
Tell Joe Burrow to stay healthy for the entire season. That sound familiar? What do that even mean? When he stayed healthy last season, you know that, right? Led the league in touchdowns and passing yards. What are we talking about?
Was he healthy all season? I thought he had a thumb thing.
He did, but he played through it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have played all of them. He did. He missed them 2 seasons. Like when he got injured.
You are right. Yeah, he did.
He did miss them 2 seasons, right? But the other ones, you get what I'm saying? The other ones, Joe Burrow basically put on. You get what I'm saying? And his team, like you do know, he lost the most games. How many was it, Lou? Scoring 38 points or more, or 40 points or more. Lost like 3 of them games. The most in NFL history.
Last year, Joe Burrow scored 31 points 5 times or more and lost 5.
Scoring 30 points or more, 31 points or more.
Yeah.
Most in NFL history. And y'all want to try to compare him to what? Why y'all keep bringing like Joe? Stay off Joe Burrow. You're not gonna win having a debate against Joe Burrow, y'all. Joe Burrow. Are we serious right now? This is crazy.
The chat is going tonight, I will say.
Yeah, they are. Like, what are we talking about?
We love to see it, though.
His losses is legendary. Matter of fact, let me go see who was the 2 people that he lost to. Matt Stafford in the Super Bowl, right? And who was the other one? Do we know? Let me look it up.
Who are you talking about?
Joe Burrow.
He lost to Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Matt Stafford in the Super Bowl. And who else? The AFC Championship game. It had to be
And he lost to Patrick Mahomes in the
Patrick
championship
Mahomes
game.
in the championship game, right? Ain't lose to Dave Craig, Tony Eason, Stan Humphries, Mark Brunell. Man, stop it, please. Can y'all please stop this? It's levels, y'all. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. We could do this all day. You know, I knew that was gonna you know what? He said, see, now you contradict yourself. Yeah, Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills were so great that they have 0 championships. But you were just saying how great they was for going to 4 of them to defend Dan Marino. You see how quick we put our foot in our mouth? You were just trying to say how great they was to defend Dan Marino. Now all of a sudden they not that good because they ain't complete the task. Make it make sense, bro. Yeah, it's still 50 y'all in the building. Listen, we about to get up out of here. Jess, you got anything before we leave? I don't even, you know what, Jess?
No, I'm fine. I was just asking.
All right, cool. Lou, you want to get us up out of here, man? Listen, we appreciate all y'all. Yeah. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe. My bad, Lou. Yeah. Subscribe. Get the boys to get the team. I'm sorry, I keep saying the boy. Get the team to the 600. We 25 away, and make sure y'all always share our content, and so we could get in the algorithm. But Lou, get us up out of here, bro.
I bet. Hey, appreciate Jess for coming through. Y'all see she's not feeling well. Pray for her. Wish her some get well soon, real quick. Right for Tony, Jess, myself. This is the Blitz pickup. We'll be back Wednesday, 7:30-ish. And listen, y'all know me. I carry a revolver. Jess carries it. Tony carries it. I know one guy that don't carry the revolver that goes bang, bang, bang. And that was Dan Marino. He never carried a damn revolver. Dan Marino rose revolver less. Let's just say that. We'll see y'all Wednesday, man. Peace, love, and vapor rub. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.